Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. If you're new here, my name's Nikki and I live in Savannah, Georgia. Got the handy dandy mic ready to do the voiceover, but I thought I would come on really quick and show my face. Today I thought it would be fun if we went and did my reading journal. A little backstory on the introduction here. I used Pinterest to gain a lot of my inspirations. I'm not a very good idealist who can think of like page designs on their own. I have a tendency to see something I like and try to replicate it, and if I think of something else to add to it that makes it a little bit me, I do that. But if not, it's fun for me, and I don't feel like I'm not being creative because I'm still drawing. And I wanted to create a hobby where it's something that I could manage in my day-to-day life. And so with listening to audiobooks, I've decided to start documenting everything that I've been reading. I guess this is a trend because I have found actually a lot of people doing this online and a lot of videos. Disclaimer, this is not something that I just made up. I'm just jumping on the bandwagon. And I thought that we could go over my journal together and look at it step by step. And I'll give you a little voiceover as we go through the clip. And that way you can kind of see how I laid out each page and what I'm planning on doing for each one. And it's just a little fun thing to show you. And I thought if my viewers were interested in reading, it could be a monthly update that I do just to talk about books and what I've read and the genres and, what I rate them and everything book related, because it's something I really love and I would love to share it with you. So let's go ahead and roll into the clips of my journal and we'll go through it together. All right, before diving into the layout of the journal, I just wanted to insert this picture right here of my journal so that way you guys could see it and get a glimpse of where it's from. I actually ordered it from Papier, and you can add a little logo monogram design on the front with your initials, and I picked that cover. I also picked spiral bound, that way I can go ahead and move the pages back and forth. It's also highly recommended to get a bullet journal when you're creating a reading journal like this. It just helps to plan out the designs and lay it out and create straighter lines, and I found it to be a lot easier, so it might be easier for you guys too. Okay, so flipping into the journal, the first section that I did was a cover page. I just did a little design here for the 2026 reading journal. I also had a few random stickers that I liked that didn't really fit any of the pages that I knew I was going to lay out. On this next page here is a little glimpse of the reading goal that I have for this year, 26 books for 2016. I also did a rating scale at the bottom for 1 through 5 stars. If I rated it a 1 star, I was barely hanging on. A 2 star, I didn't want to kill myself. 3 stars meant I was indifferent at best. 4 stars, I loved the book as a whole, but it had flaws. And for 5 stars, I love the book and will be making it my whole new personality. Flipping on to the next page, I did a books read in 2026 type of layout where I listed the title of the book that I read, the rating that I gave it, as well as the completed date for that novel. I plan on using this section to document all of the books that I read in 2026. Flipping over into the next page, we have the library. This is one of my favorite sections of the reading journal. I found this image on Pinterest and replicated it. Actually, I'm sorry, no, I found it on Instagram and I replicated it as best as I could. And I made the books have no type of binding, so that way I could go ahead and color them in as I read them per which genre that color relates to. And so I have a key in the top section. I have, let's see, purple is fiction, pink is fantasy, dark pink is romance, gray is mystery, green is nonfiction, and yellow is self-help. You can definitely see which genre I have been favoring lately. On the next page, we have the DNF page. The DNF page stands for Did Not Finish, and it's basically where all the shitty books go to die. I only have 2 on the list so far. Number 1 is Brimstone by Callie Hart, and the second one is Uncle Tom's Cabin. The reason that I have that book on here at all is because as part of that TBR reading challenge that I have, which I will go over more at the end of this overview, just to go a little bit more in depth with it. I have that book on my shelf and I wanted to read it, and I really did try. However, it was highly racist and killing the vibe that I was trying to go for, and I couldn't do it. For the second page here, we have the TBR reading challenge list. So any book that I read off of my TBR, I go ahead and also list it in this list as well. The next section that I set up is a series tracker. I had listed all of the book series that I am currently reading or plan on reading future books from this upcoming year, and organize them into their own little sections, and I will be putting a dot next to the book as I read them. I read so many books from so many series, and it's hard to keep track of them a lot of the time, so this just seems like an easier way to stay on top of the books I've read, what's next, and what's coming up. I also tried to be fun and cut this little section like half, so it kind of just felt like an insert instead of an actual separate page. Next is the book tracker. The blue represents books that I have read from my TBR, and the orange is read not from the TBR. I didn't have a specific number I was doing with the stamps. It's kind of just the squares I made and what came out of it. But it's just a fun way to see like how many books I read from each category. Going on to the media tracker. The media tracker is where I am keeping a log on which platform I am reading my books on, whether it is from my book, like a physical copy, the Kindle, an audio, or an other, which as of right now, the other was a PDF that I found on the computer itself for free. As you see, I've been mostly listening to audiobooks just because it's easier for my life right now. This next section is where I'm going to be putting an image of the book that I read for each month. That was my favorite. I'm a little behind on printing, which is why I only have January printed. The first Crescent City book was my top choice for January. February is also the second Crescent City book. I just haven't printed it. That section concludes the overview of the journal for the entire year as a whole. The next part of this journal is where I'm going to be going month by month and doing a monthly recap page. After I do the overview of the month, I go ahead and create a review for every book that I read. So I have a bunch of stickers that I like, or I go on Canva and find images of the book itself and print them out and put them in here. Just so if I ever want to, kind of like a scrapbook, like if I ever want to go back and check it out, I have it there. After the last Crescent City book is the end of my January section, and we move on to February. I have a calendar here along with the books I read. I put the amount of pages I read as to be another section, but to be honest, I don't think I'm going to do that because a lot of these are audiobooks, so I went ahead and I read Saga the Unfaded, so it's a duology of 2 book series. I decided to put a couple pictures there where it went over the first book and the second one, so that way I can kind of remember which comes from which. The Let Them Theory was really good. I'm not a huge self-help book type of girly, but I did really enjoy that. So that's what I plan on doing. I'm going to go ahead and put in my individual reviews per month. As you see, I'm also behind on printing the stickers. But that concludes January and February. I'm not going to go over every single review. I am thinking that it would be kind of fun to do not a whole other video like this, but maybe in a day in the life video doing a quick recap of that month in which books that I've read. If that's something that you guys would be interested in, let me know in the comments below. I think it's really fun, so I assume that you guys might think it's fun too, and we can start with March. Thank you guys for going over the reading journal with me. I appreciate you guys sitting down and taking time to enjoy a hobby that I also love. Whoops, you guys aren't supposed to see that. That's the preview for March. Gotta close that really quick. But thanks for watching the vlog. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Talk to you later. Bye.